Hi guys, how are you? Hi guys, how are you today?
Good.
Hey.
What's up, B?
Okay.
Hey, Perry. I almost answer your, when you play your intro, when you say, hi guys, at the beginning, I almost go, hi, Sharrell.
See, now that's
Because
what
it sounds so real.
See, that's why you can't be smoking weed every day.
Wow. Okay, so today's a very serious video today because we're on the cusp of something major happening in our country here. Whether this verdict is going to be what you think it's going to be, what it's not, what you think is not going to be, whatever it is, they got, was it 5,000 National Guard line up and ready to go. So I wanted to fill you guys in on what's going on so we know exactly what we're looking at when the results come in. But when I first started my YouTube channel, I intentionally wanted a mixed audience. And people told me, if you went all black, you'll grow faster, much faster, being an African-American woman. But I didn't want an all black audience because that's not how my world is. In my world, I have white people, Arab people, all mixed all over. So I made a conscious decision to do that, even though in the beginning it confused the advertisers, but then they started loving it because you can reach everybody, because that's what this country is made of, a mix of everybody. And I didn't shy away from controversial topics because I feel like we're all adults and we can talk. And I don't let color get in the way of me making decisions or politics. I just don't. Because those are the three things that get people all up in arms. You know what I mean? But we can have a conversation without getting all up in arms and trashing everybody. And for me, this is almost like a little OJ case. Remember how emotional the people were with OJ, and it was caught everybody's attention, and we still talk about it to this day. It's a very controversial case, and we're on the cusp of having a controversial verdict in our country.
Yes.
And so I feel that we should talk about it. And I wanted to make sure on my channel, everybody knew what was going on before you turn on the news. And I don't know, I hope it doesn't get bad and it doesn't resort to rioting. But before it happened, I wanted us all to know what was going on. And V, you know nothing about the case. So just listen, because I can't believe you haven't heard about it. It is everywhere. So there was a guy, his name is Jacob Blake, who this happened in Kenosha, Wisconsin. He got shot by a cop, and he's black. Of course, the cop is white. The officers weren't charged. There were no charges brought against what happened. And so people started protesting. Now, protesting has been in this country since the beginning of time. It's the thing that people do that they feel like they don't have a voice. Protesting is different than rioting. It's two different things.
Right.
People protest is what Martin Luther King was talking about. Rioting is reserved for people who want to end up in jail or people with lost lives. It's a big difference.
Right.
But so it was protest for a couple of days, and as a result, the lead person in this trial, his name is Kyle Rittenhouse. He was 17 years old at the time. Now I go back and forth. That's another controversial statement. I go back and forth of, should we give children life sentences? Something about that bothers me. I don't know why.
I mean, I get it. It could. I mean, to a certain degree. I mean, if we're talking 8 or 9, maybe. You know what I'm saying? Not 17, 16, 17, 18.
When you believe it, you believe 16 up should get a life sentence. I feel like, just for me,
I would say it this way. I almost say if that person demonstrate in their regular life that they know right from wrong, because you have people with disabilities who could not know, right? But in this case, I look at the person normal life. If they know right from wrong.
Well, let me get the story out. Yeah, you might be right. I mean, it's to each its own. But anyway, he says that he came. Oh, he doesn't even live in Kenosha. He came over from Illinois. He said to protect the businesses in Illinois. Now he's 17, and he was walking around with an AR-15 military style weapon.
Yeah, at 17.
I don't know if that's appropriate for anybody at any age, let alone a riot. But anyway, he came over. He says that he was being threatened, and that resulted in 2 people's death, which is Joseph Rosenbaum and Anthony Huber, and injured a 3rd person, which is Gage Gross. These are all white Americans. So, because race is going to play a part of this, it's really crazy. These are all white Americans. Nobody needs to lose their life in a riot, in a protest, pardon me. Nobody. According to them, according to the prosecution, what's his name? Gage says he was shot first and then raised his gun, and the guy shot and killed a person, and then they started running after him, and then they beat him up, and he felt that his life was in danger. Okay. That's the gist of what's going on. Now let's get into the details. His mother, as any mother would, feels that her son didn't do anything wrong and that he shouldn't be faced with any charges. I think any mother would feel that way. You wouldn't want your child to go to jail. Where I feel she made her mistake is she went public about it and made a couple slip-ups. Well,
Slip-up?
yeah, let's say, so this is what she said initially. She came out and initially said that her son didn't do anything wrong and that, hold on, let me get that. He shouldn't be prosecuted. Now he's looking up to a life sentence, okay? So let me put this on here. Yeah, it's absolutely wild. But this is mom. You know, moms love their children, and some moms even might make excuses for their children. So let me go ahead and put this on the screen.
She's doing what a mom is expected to do.
I can't hear that. Let me do it another way. What are you saying, V? That most moms are expected
to doing what a mom is expected. Yeah, she's doing what a mom is expected to do.
Well, I don't know. Would you do that?
If he carrying a military rifle around like that, I don't think so. But a lot of moms don't look at it that way. They feel that's my child. I'm gonna stick with them no matter what.
They'll make excuses for him. I get it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and even Gabor was saying that's what the cloth that he's cut from. He said he would stick by his child no matter what. So this is what she's doing. I can't say I falter. I guess it's to each its own. It's uploading right now. If you're that kind of mother, I'm not necessarily that kind of mother. I feel that if you do something wrong, I will stand by your side, but right. I will say, I don't know why my son did this, and I'm not going to make excuses for him, but I love him. But she came out and she was saying that it's not his fault. It's actually the mayor's fault and the governor's fault because they egged this on and they did not get this protest under control. Now, the protest, while it's uploading, led to fires and just tons of people. It lasted such a long time. You guys tell me if you can hear this.
It was self-defense.
That is Wendy Rittenhouse, the mother of 17-year-old Kyle, who is accused of killing 2 men, Joseph Rosenbaum and Anthony Huber, and wounding a 3rd, Gage Gross.
Being in jail, that he shouldn't be in jail.
Wendy wishes her son hadn't been there or the protesters. She said had officials in Wisconsin stopped the looting, as soon as it started, it would be an entirely different reality.
It's the governor of Wisconsin and the mayor of Kenosha. They should have stepped up.
Wendy says Kyle and a friend originally had gone to help clean up a Kenosha auto dealer that had been looted and vandalized after the police shooting of 29-year-old Jacob Blake.
Good job and everything. You know, you're cleaning up the graffiti.
She says she knew nothing of the gun that had been given to him by that friend. As the night wore on, he told his mom he was sticking around to help if anybody got hurt.
I texted him earlier before I went to bed, seeing where he's at, and all I got was, I'm okay, Mom. I'm doing medic.
And when asked if her son should have had the AR-15 style gun in the first place,
everybody has a right to protest.
Yes.
Everyone has a right to counter-protest.
Mm-hmm.
The issue that some people have here is that your son was down there with a gun.
Mm-hmm. And everybody else, what I saw in video, had guns too. And
Does that make it right, Wendy?
You know what? If he didn't have that gun, my son would have been dead.
Certainly not everyone was armed, but she claims Kyle was acting in self-defense.
Okay, so I hope you guys can hear that. So she started saying that it's the mayor's fault and the governor's fault because they didn't control this protest. Okay, so you've already got why the protest started because of Jacob Blake. That's a hot topic right there because it's another police shooting a black male. Okay, so that was touchy. And then you had the mom coming out and not really acknowledging the people that lost their lives, just protecting her son. And I can't say I wouldn't do anything. That's what some moms do. Okay, you're worried about your child, even though 2 people lost their lives. Okay, what adds more fuel to this fire? This is already a touchy subject. Is somehow somebody asked Donald Trump, what did he think about this case? And he said, not all policemen are bad. It's where it happened. If it probably would have happened, it wouldn't have happened if the Democrats weren't in control. Okay, now you bring politics into it. Joe Biden responds by saying Donald Trump is egging on the protesters, and this wouldn't have happened if Kyle wasn't a white supremacist. He said this without any proof. When it became political, then the conservatives started supporting Kyle. So now they're making it political and paying for his
defense
attorney fees.
Yeah, and stuff like that. And so now you've got race involved, politics involved, because I feel like any politician, when national disasters like this happen, that's what I call it. If you can't make it a positive situation, don't say anything. But they did, and they made it a part of their campaigns. Okay, this is what's making this even worse. So then when it became political and the conservatives started supporting, paying for his defense and things like that, then it gets political. Okay, so then the trial takes place and they're saying that the judge is conservative and leaning towards Kyle. In the meantime, you have a 17-year-old boy who just turned 18 take the stand and was in tears. I'm not saying right or wrong. I'm telling you what's happening, and then we'll get to who's right and who's wrong and just what we think about it. In tears, could barely speak on trial. Let me see if I could put this up. Hold on. And I have this thing. I don't know if I would feel different if it was my child that lost his life. But I always feel that, and I could be wrong, that children are a product of their parents. And I don't know. I just go back and forth of if a child should get a life sentence. I'll put up him actually crying on the stand, and people. So now we're divided. Either you are for him or against him, and the people that are for him are saying that it was great that he cried, showing emotion, as if it was a planned thing to do. I don't think it was planned. I think that if you take anybody's life, it's going to bother you. Here he was crying.
I was cornered from in front of me with Mr. Zeminski And there were three people right there.
Take a deep breath, Kyle.
That's what That's right, run.
We're going to just take time for our break anyway. You can just relax for a minute, sir. We're going to take a break about 10 minutes, and please don't talk about the case during the break. Read, watch, or listen to any comments.
People that were against him said that those tears were fake. People who were for him say that if you take anybody's life, you might feel that way. Okay, so it's the heat is turning up. The trial was only 8 days. It's getting worse and worse and worse. So then you have the only surviving, let me put his picture up, victim, that's what I'm going to call Gage, take the stand. Now, he had said earlier that Kyle shot him without any imminent danger. He said he was just shot. But when he gets on the stand and the defense gets on the stand, they prove that there's a picture of a gun of him holding pointing at Kyle. He says that everything was going fast, and if the gun was pointing at him, it was sheer accident. This is something that a defense can tear up. Okay. He was even questioned about it on Fox News, and then he went on Anderson Cooper against CNN. So we're changing. They look at it as him changing his story because he said at first that he did not point a gun at Kyle. But then they find photos of him pointing a gun, and he's saying, how did he explain it, Perry? Because I didn't, that his arm went limp, and he could have did it out of.
He was saying that it was a still photo that, it could have been pointing at him, but it wasn't intentional. Then he said when he had the confrontation with Kyle, his hands was up. Then he tried to, sometimes when people tell a certain story, they try to go back and say, well, I was shot, because medical records showed that the way I was shot, my hands had to be up. When my arm came down, maybe that's when that's when the picture was taken. Mm-hmm. But to me, his story seems suspect. Because
we'll get to that in a minute. Okay. I'm just telling the basics.
Right.
Then to make things even worse is at the last hour, just before they go into debate, he was facing 5 felonies. The judge allowed lesser charges, which means that if they throw out the harsher charges, that he could actually be looking at no time. Now, I hope I got that all in. Does it make sense, V? Because it's complicated. Yeah. And then I have to say this before we get. In anticipation of the verdict, they have brought in 5,000 National Guards. So they feel that no matter what the verdict is, there's going to be riots for days.
Right. For one side or the other.
For one side or the other.
Yeah.
Does this make sense, V? It's complicated.
The whole story is complicated because it's a sad story.
Yeah.
It's a sad story. But I'm looking at this thinking, you hate to even take sides on something like this, but I'm looking at this thinking, if I go into a riot and I have a gun and I shoot my finger off, I know when I shoot my finger off, there's some consequences to that. I know this ahead of time. There's going to be consequences to that.
You mean, are you trying to say he should have never brought a gun? Not just a gun, the AR-15, a military-style gun.
Exactly. I can blame the riot that I shot my finger off. I can blame my parents for having the gun at the house. I can blame all kinds of people and things of why I had this gun in the first place, but I shot my finger off. But he went there with a rifle. So he wasn't going there with the intentions of being peaceful. You don't carry a rifle, that type of rifle, that what you said, that military rifle. You don't carry that type of rifle anywhere if you go in there with the intentions of just going to help or to be peaceful, or you leave it in your car in case of an emergency and I need some protection. Maybe I have to go back to my car and get that. You don't walk in like you in the military with a rifle in your hand. So right there, to me, is a big controversy right there, because whatever his mother is saying, she's being a mother, and I get that, and she's protecting her son. But at the same time, he had to know the responsibility of taking that rifle with him. That was what that was gonna turn into at some point. You take a rifle with you, you're gonna either end up shooting somebody or yourself or something.
Yeah.
It has no good intentions with it.
You're saying that kind of guns have no place in a protest?
No, he had
What
no
about the other side that
business.
brought guns too?
The
Ray.
other, that don't make
Gage, I'm sorry.
yeah, that don't make them right either. You shouldn't take guns to a protest. But bottom line is, you're supposed to be there to protest something peacefully, and bringing guns means you have no intentions of this being peaceful.
Also, his mom added more fuel to this when she came out on Fox News, I believe it was 3 days ago, and said if she's sure that if he had to do it all over again, her son, he would do the same thing because he was helping people. This upset people because there was no mention of the victims.
Mm-hmm.
So
he's helping people with a rifle, with a gun.
Not just a gun, a military style weapon.
Right. She was,
weapon.
I mean,
Yeah.
she was asked this too, right? She was asked, do you have anything to say to the people who died? And she said, no, I have no words.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I forgot that.
So she did say that part.
Her main concern is to get her son off out of this mess that he got himself into. That sounds like that's what she wants to do. But she, in her heart, has to know that what he did was not right.
Let's start taking calls.
But Sharrell, and I'm gonna say this though before we even get too deep into the conversation, because a lot of stuff. I think I want everybody, including the panelists and everybody, not to make this a political thing or religious based. Look at what's right and wrong.
Right.
No need to say if this was in place or if this was at place. Somebody went to a protest. Somebody got shot. Let's just talk about that. Okay.
What is this? Fragrance is spamming the chat. What does that mean?
I don't know.
Fragrance is spamming.
Oh, here we are. Okay, got it. Thank you. Dot
Willie.
Yeah, Dot Willie. Okay, Lola, can you make some sense out of this?
I sure can. I don't know what y'all talk about. No disrespect or nothing, but wasn't Kyle videotaped at a bar after? First of all, isn't he a minor? He was at a bar throwing Proud Boy signs up.
Say it again. I couldn't hear you.
Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay. No, what I was saying was that wasn't Kyle the same person that after he shot these people, he went to a bar,
I forgot that part.
And started throwing Proud Boy signs up. Oh my God, he feels so bad that he had to shoot someone because he was saving people. Get the out of here. He did not. He obtained bullets illegally. I've shot an AR-15. I've shot an AR-15. I've shot a 9mm. I've shot a Desert Eagle before, legally, within the confines of a shooting range and all that. Why are you walking around with an AR-15?
Yeah.
For what? That giant ass fucking gun. And Perry, you know what I'm talking about because you were in the military.
Right.
That giant ass gun. You're taking it to a protest and you're holding it in your hands like we saw in the picture. For what? If that doesn't say "come get me, come fight me," I don't know what the hell else does.
Like I had said earlier, I said he didn't come with good intentions because he was
by the way, all that crying on the stand, I don't feel bad. I don't feel bad at all. I'm so sick of these fucking.
Well, let me ask you this, Lola.
Tears. I'm over it. I'm fucking over it. I'm sorry, but I'm hot about it.
I know you're hot. Yeah. Calm down, Lola. Let me ask you this. Do you think if you naturally take somebody's life that it's just going to weigh on you? I don't care who you are. That's something that's like not natural.
Here's what I have to say. I think people, sociopaths like Ted Bundy and all these other people who just killed for the fun of it, they got something out of it. So I'm not saying he's a serial killer, but what I'm saying is that I feel like there's people who walk this earth that can kill someone and just are desensitized to the action. Mm-hmm. Like, I'm right. Like, he's justifying himself. He's like, well, I'm protecting. Protecting who from what? Protecting who from what?
There's 2 lives gone and somebody needs to pay the price.
I think both sides are wrong. I think not the people who died, but the guy who shot him first or pointed the gun at him first, if that's in fact the truth, he should be in trouble, but so should he. He obtained bullets illegally. Why did your mom drive you all the way over there, like 40 minutes away from where you live, to do what with an AR-15? To do what? You saw people protesting on the news. You got hype about it. You didn't agree with what they were doing, and you wanted to go there and show who's boss. That's not. If I was on the jury, he would get the max sentence. I'm sorry. If you're grown enough to take 2 lives, you're grown enough to take
what about this, Lola? I feel funny about putting children behind bars for the rest of their lives.
Children don't shoot people, Sharrell. Children don't shoot people.
What's that?
Children don't shoot people.
To me, he acted like an adult.
Take grown man responsibility, and that's on period.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
To me, that's what I was gonna say. To me, he acting like an adult, and then when he do something so heinous, then he want to fall back as a child.
Oh, yeah. No, it don't work like that. It don't work like that in Lola land. It sure don't.
Yeah.
Let me have people join the conversation. Hi, Kenya. How are you? You're on mute.
You're on mute.
How you doing? This is my first time calling in.
Hi.
Thank you.
How y'all doing?
This is a touchy subject because in a couple days, somebody gonna be upset.
Yes, ma'am.
And it could lead to more protesting. What's your stance on this?
Well, I was watching the prosecutor when he was doing his closing arguments, and he was basically saying that he lied about being an EMT worker.
Yeah, that's true.
He lied. His mother drove him over there, and he lied about knowing the business that he was so-called protecting at the time.
Yeah, I heard that. Yeah, that's true.
He was lying about that. And then they was actually showing like drone footage of him, how he was running with the AR-15.
Yeah.
And he got startled with it, and I guess he was shooting at the protesters or whatnot. But my thing is this: when he was walking towards the police after he got done with them, the police just let him go. They didn't do anything. They just let him go about his business. But little 12-year-old Tamir Rice was playing with a toy gun, and he was gunned down.
Pop, pop, pop. Without no questions.
And it's my thing about this. They want to say that he's a little boy, he's young, but when it comes to our black boys, they're all automatically adults and they're responsible.
So let me clarify what you're saying. You're saying
they don't like a child.
Let me clarify what you're saying. They don't treat young black boys like they're children,
right?
At that age,
right?
And don't start now.
Right.
Just because it's a white person, that's what you're saying?
Yes.
What do you think about that he killed he shot 3 other white people? How, like, is it?
Well, at the time, all he was thinking about, they was out there protesting for the Black Lives Matter route. That's basically what he was doing. He called himself was out there protecting the business. But the people who say he was protecting, they didn't ask him to come out there. They didn't want him there.
Yeah.
He's not a police officer. He's not in the military. He's not any kind of like, I'm sure this is one of the first times he ever held a gun. Or like a few times. He's not been professionally trained to protect man body from man nothing. So what the hell is he doing out here?
What do you think about the survivor, Gage Gross, his last name, Scruntz, saying that at first saying, I did not point a gun at this man. And then they show a picture and he has to change his testimony. What do you think about that?
I think that he probably did point a gun at him. But what do you suspect when you're carrying a military rifle? That's the kind of stuff gonna happen to you. You're going there with a vengeance in your heart. Somebody gonna point a gun at you. So
was Gage
I don't think that was
first,
so
or was he like
unusual.
the third one who got shot? I believe he was probably running up there after he heard the gunfire after the gunshots went off.
Yeah, I don't think that's so unusual. That he carried a gun in there. Sooner or later, somebody gonna point a gun at you.
Right.
So
I'm not. Do you think our politicians made this worse and made it political by President Trump coming out and then President Biden coming out?
Can I say this? I think Biden had more of a stance though, because he was pictured with the Proud Boys throwing up Proud Boy signs. Like,
what
come
is
on.
the Proud Boy? Are you trying to say that's some white supremacist group?
Yes.
I mean, I was listening to the testimony and they said they couldn't testify and say that he was a white supremacist.
Yeah, because the judge is apparently the judge is being paid by the defense. Because I don't
the judge.
What's you guys'
the judge said they couldn't call the people who got killed victims.
Have you ever heard of that, Sharrell? You cannot call people who were killed victims. You ever heard of that in your life?
No, I think the judge is really biased.
Really?
I think.
Well, here's another question, and we're only speculating at this point. Let's start with you, Kenya. What do you think they're going to give him?
I don't know, because what the judge has been doing, he's been showing his ASS the whole time. He might get off.
Yeah.
I don't think he's gonna get off.
He might get off because he already dropped the gun charges on him that he couldn't get charged with carrying a gun. They already dropped those charges. The judge did that yesterday. So, and the way he was laying out the rules for the jurors yesterday, it was so confusing.
Girl.
So,
and here's my problem
he
too.
might get off.
Here's
the
my
rules
problem
he was
too.
putting out yesterday for juries was ridiculous.
Hold on. Here's my problem too. Aren't all the jurors like white?
Yeah, I think it's one person of color.
Right.
Okay, so here's my problem with that too. In this diverse ass country, we should have, first of all, a mix of jurors, both financially like up the ladder, uneducated, educated, not broke. Because that's America, right? If I'm coming in the case, right, and I'm a poor person, right, and I'm heavily in debt, and y'all all rich, y'all not gonna look at it the same way because y'all don't know the struggle. Do you understand what I'm saying? People of different cultures don't understand the struggles of people of different cultures. That's just how it is. And
but
I don't
do you think that they're using the race card a little bit, Lola? And let me tell you why. All parties involved were white.
Here's my problem with it. I would agree with you that they were using a race card had he not posed with the Proud Boys. Because you let me know straight up. You were throwing signs and everything.
Yeah.
If I'm sitting here, right, and I'm taking picture with bloods, throwing up blood signs, and all that, and then y'all call me a gangster, is that wrong?
I got you.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think his intention was to get on the stand, play little boy, get on the stand, cry, act like you didn't know what you was doing.
It made me hate him more.
That's an evil kid.
I don't like when people play on my intelligence. I don't like when people play on my intelligence. He is guilty as hell. I would put his ass in there for life. Sorry, Sharrell. I know you talk about kids, but you doing grown man stuff. You're gonna pay grown man prices.
I really go back and forth about sentencing children to a life sentence. Something had to go wrong in your childhood. I mean, I don't know. Hold on, Stephen. Let me read this.
Privilege.
And we'll get this. It said, let's be clear. If he was black, there would be no question of guilt. Judge is biased. They played Trump's campaign song as his ringtone in court. Stephen, what do you have to add to this? Because this is complicated, and I feel like no matter what happens, there's going to be a riot.
Well, yeah, actually, it's really weird because I literally just tapped onto this live. I was about to watch TV, and then I was like, okay, I'm going to listen to this. And I think, yeah, you're right. It's going to riot either way, but that's because even though we don't want to politicize it, it's being politicized immediately. Yeah. So we know people like Steven Crowder, Joe Rogan, no matter what, people, even for their own clout, are going to spin on this for their own views. And at the same time, it's just all of us on the floor who are arguing.
Yeah.
But then again, no offense to anyone in the US, this is another case of militarized weapons in a public setting.
Yeah.
So it's some kind, even though, even here in the UK, we have crap as well. Excuse me, I can say crap, comment, that's okay. But we do have that kind of stuff. But whether he was fake crying doesn't really matter. It's a hot topic. He's young. It's going to play into something. So everyone's got their own kind of agenda. But I do completely agree that if he was a different color skin, this would be a whole different thing. And
you really, you're fading out. You really think that race plays? Stephen?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Okay.
Camera.
It's just his picture messing up. He's good though.
Yeah.
You think that race played a huge part of this?
Look, I don't look. I just from look. if we watch what happens on both sides of the ponds here, I think the first, some people will always go to a point of we look at, well, if that happened to me as a minority, so even say if that happened to a gay man, if that was a trans person, if that was a person of color against a white young male or white privileged, would they be susceptible to the exact same kind of treatment? Would the media talk about it in the same way? Would it mention certain things? Like we've just had a car bomb go off in outside of the hospital.
Liverpool,
here.
Right? Liverpool.
Yeah, and obviously halfway through the list is the fact that he was and he had been sectioned under the Mental Health Act, and they couldn't find him. But he'd been taken in by two people from the minute he'd taken asylum in the UK and had converted to Christianity. So these two people, two members of the public, fed him, took him in, looked after him, but our own government healthcare system couldn't find him. But that's the narrative they want to kind of play. So I just think, unfortunately, how often do you have these arguments about gun laws? But I get it now. It's getting to a point now where you're like, well, if I don't have something on me, who's going to hurt me? And now you're saying
the problem is, you know what the problem is in the U.S. as an American? Here's the issue. It's not the problem that we're allowed to carry arms. The problem is that we do not have check and balances for people who are applying for these. There's southern states here, Stefan, where you can go into Walmart and buy a gun. That is ridiculous to me. In order for you to drive, you have to pass the written test. You have to prove that you know how to operate an automobile. So why the hell aren't people required to have a written test, a mental test, and a qualification test in order to carry a gun? That's the problem in this country. Not the right to own it. It's who owns it. That's the problem.
I've got one last.
Open carry now out here in Texas. You can open carry now out here.
That's ridiculous.
So we like the wild west. Everybody's carrying guns now.
So
go ahead, Stephen. What were you going to say?
So my last point is there. Yeah, I get. Yeah, obviously you could go through one test right now. Yeah, so we could all do a test right now. But look how the world has changed in the last 2 years. Right, started at the top and it's at the bottom. Look at the way. Look what's going on with. Look how things are changing. So you've got a kid at 17 that might be one way. In 6 months, they've gone down a YouTube wormhole. They've been watching this video, that video. Once you get into the algorithm of stuff, you start watching these videos on Facebook, you start getting angry. You're like this, you're like that, and you're still carrying the same gun, but maybe your mindset and your attitude to the world has changed. So do you know what I mean?
Well, to me, it's very seldom that a child starts out at 17 years old. It does happen. They may progress a couple of years down the line and do better. But most of the time at 17 years old, that's just the beginning of your problem. At 17, at 20-something, at 30-something, this person is in and out of jail, in and out of trouble, shooting at somebody. If you're carrying that type of weapon at 17, I don't know what you will be doing at 30. You do need to be held accountable for what you're doing.
And also, you shouldn't have a gun at 17. You're still in geometry class, okay?
Yeah.
Come on. You're not even washing your own ass or paying your own bills at that point. You need to be grown to have a gun. That's first of all.
Exactly.
All right. We have a long line. Thank you, Stephen. Thank you, Kenya.
Yeah, thanks, everyone.
Bye. Y'all have a good one.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
I wanted to address really quickly before I bring up some more people. I got this super chat. Let me address this. Kimberly says, Sharrell, please stop this because he had no business there, period. This is not good for your channel. I cannot always avoid a conversation because it's controversial. If anything, for me, talking about something brings understanding and clarity to a situation. We cannot sweep this under the rug as if it's not happening, because I'm telling you, when the verdict comes in, someone's going to be upset.
It's going to have an effect on a lot of people.
Yeah.
Right.
Let me bring up another caller.
What people don't understand is that you're trying to be unbiased. You're trying to put out all the facts, speak from a neutral ground, and let us discuss the aftermath. That's why you guys are trying to remain neutral and leave emotion out.
Exactly.
I'm trying to strike up a conversation. These conversations need to be had. This is not going to be the first racial trial that we have. It's not going to be the last. I feel like our governments aren't helping. They make it political. And then it's like adding fuel to a fire. Right. What's your thoughts on this, Diva?
It's so sad and shocking that still right now in the time period that we're in, we see so much craziness and like bias in the courtroom, right? And that's why people don't have respect for it. It's not, you can't ever get a fair trial. It just depends on the mood of the situation and the judge that you get and all of that.
Yeah.
The problem that we have with jury duty and getting someone of our peers, when most of us go for jury duty, we try to get out of it. We try to get out of it. We be like, oh, I fell downstairs, my leg is broken. My cousin got shot by somebody. That's why I don't want to do it. So there's so many people that look like us that try to get out of jury duty. So that's why sometimes it's hard to get a jury that is mixed.
Diva, you are so right. You are so right. Go ahead. Sorry.
In terms of this boy, you had a lot in you already. So let's pretend you wanted to go there, right? And just protect the businesses. So what's your mindset? And your friend gives you a gun. If that wasn't in you, if I go and say with my friend to say, you know what, let's go protect and let's go help with this protest. The minute my friend go to hand me a gun, oh, I'm out, I'm done. That's not what I came for. I just came to maybe sweep up, clean up, or help protect. So I didn't come here. So, and then you take a magnitude like that of that particular weapon and you just comfortable, swinging it around, pointing it at people, and you're okay actually shooting someone. Like it just doesn't make sense. And mommy, I get that you want to protect your child, but you had a role in this. It's just like how are you, you're driving and then you talking about you went to sleep after you spoke to him. Listen, my 17-year-old is out in the street. I'm not sleeping until they come back through my door.
Yeah.
And when I text you and you say something I don't sound right, I'm coming to get you. And when I get there, you better be at the corner where I dropped you off and you getting back in this car.
Yeah.
Like that, I'm not get down like that. My son is 16. He's my only one. And I be like, where you going? Who you going with? Do I know them? Do I know their parents? Remind me who it is. Show me a picture on this phone. I don't play that. And you can't go out here and be some vigilante. That had to be something in him. I do believe he was a part of that group. I do believe that someone else besides the friend gave him that weapon. And now, and the judge is just, I think the judge should have been removed. So, and I think also, because I've been listening, I'm like, which judge does this, right? So, and I think also that they're bringing this National Guard, and I don't know if 5,000 is going to be enough, because I think they already know what the verdict is going to turn out to be.
Not guilty, girl, not guilty.
But yet they're going to it's going to be not guilty. So that's why, and they need more than 5,000. They need more than 5,000 because this is going to be a mess. And I don't want to bring all of the other stuff into it, but one of the people that he killed is not, it's not good. Like that community is not going to have it. So that's why I know it's going to be a mess.
Yeah, that's why they got the National Guard out. That's why they brought all the military.
What community are you talking about? The gay community?
No, I thought he killed is somebody from the Jewish community. I thought, right?
Oh, a Jewish person?
Yeah.
Rosenbaum, Joshua Rosenbaum.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Did y'all hear about the judge talking about Asian people? Did y'all hear about the judge when he was making the comments about Asian people? Or the Asian people or whatever?
That judge about the rice or something, ordering lunch or something like that.
Let's hear what Nina has to say about this mess. What do you say, Nina?
Okay, so what I'm about to say is not a disclaimer. This ain't got nothing to do with Sharrell's world. This is my opinion and my opinion solely. Okay.
Oh my. Okay, go ahead.
I'm just saying. First, you're 17. You driving your son from one county to the other. Okay. Knowing good and well what your son is going to do. Mm-hmm. What his reasons is behind He can't even drive his damn self. You had to drive. Okay?
Talk about it. Talk about
He
it.
ain't got no driver's license. Secondly, he ain't even old
Without a
enough.
gun. Make it
He
make
ain't
sense.
even old enough to purchase and register a gun.
Okay.
Now,
Okay.
when I was 10, my father took me and my twin brother out. You know, back then you could just go out into the woods and, you know, deep down where they fished at. And he taught us how to fire a weapon, right? So I do carry, but I don't carry everywhere I go.
Oh wow!
So because I don't want to say that I'm trying to, I'm looking for trouble. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
But I will protect me and my family. And then you got this man.
Let me ask you a question, Nina, because I don't know anybody that carries a gun. Why would you want to carry a gun?
Well,
as a woman, especially for
goes
protection.
back. Wait a minute. Let me answer. At this time and age, you know, since number 45 got into office, a lot of shit happened. You know, I lost a lot of friends that were of different races because of their views and my views. You know what I'm saying? You know, even with George Floyd, the shooting and killing of George Floyd. Now we can always go back. We can go back all the way to when it first happened, when there was no videos and no nothing with Trayvon Martin and a pack of damn Skittles. So I carry a gun when I'm going out. See, I carry one since I was shot in my leg. I carry it when I know I'm going out, so I'm going into public places like that. You know, but people are so mean and so hateful today. You can't even speak to people, and I really don't. And in North Carolina, we speak to people. We friendly. We like that. But this is what I want to say about where all this is taking place. He does not have. He has people of his peers, which are all white Americans, minus one of color. You have an old judge that believe in old times. He should be retired 40 years ago. And then you got so much, you know, when he was on that stand, Sharrell, he did not cry one damn tear. He huffed and he puffed till he blew that damn house down. And that's what they wanted. They wanted to see that kind of reaction. And he's 17. I don't believe that he would be let go. I think they're going to find him guilty, but they're going to put him somewhere till he's 21 and let his little rotten ass out so he can do this shit all over again.
Let me read this super chat. Go ahead.
I'm done with him. Go ahead. Read.
Oh, I'm going to read the super chat really quickly. Norwegian media and the people are portraying Kyle as a villain, and the majority here are white. This issue is too American for me. So this is going all around the world. Thank you, David, for letting me know. Regina, you're new to the group. Welcome. What's your take on all of this?
Somebody's got some background going.
It's not Corey this time. Regina?
No, it's Regina.
Hi, I'm on a delay, Sharrell.
You want it? I'm sorry?
She's delayed. She's on a delay.
Oh, she's on a delay. Can you turn your TV down?
Unless her browser's open or something.
No, I think she's watching on TV.
I'm on a delay, so I'm going to just say my little piece really quick.
Okay.
Sure. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yay.
Go ahead.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
I can't hear you guys, so I'm just gonna
just speak your piece. Yeah, go ahead.
I've been watching the trial since it started. I had a feeling about it because it all started with Joseph Blake anyway, you know, the guy that got shot. But the whole thing that threw me off was the first day in court. You could tell that the judge, he has a bias for Kyle, and that's just the facts. And like Miss Gray-Headed Diva said, I have 3 sons, and my son actually this year went to his first Halloween party I'm in Texas and Houston, and it was the scariest damn situation for me, being that I'm here in Texas. My son is Black. He is a very cultured kid with his dreads and all of that. And I have a 17-year-old son. And my sons did want to protest here in Houston. I was thinking about letting them go. But as a mother, I could put myself there. Like the protests we had here in Houston this summer with George Floyd. I could put myself there. I couldn't take my sons there, because even though I know I'm going with the like mind of justice for George or justice for any of these individuals that people are protesting about, there are going to be people there just to start mess. It just is. And he was looking for it and he got it. The only thing was he wasn't expecting that FBI drone to be flying. He wasn't expecting all of those cameras and those cell phones to catch every angle. When I saw the footage of how he killed Mr. Rosenbaum, it's an open and closed case to me. The man was clearly feet away when he shot. It's no logic. I don't have to have a law degree. I don't have to have any of those degrees. I have common sense. I'm a person that live in the freest country in the world. It's not right. Here in Texas, kids can go hunting. You can go hunting at 12 years old, but you have to have a registered adult. You have to go to those classes. You have to do certain things to have a gun, whether it's for hunting or for yourself. So, you know, to me, it's definitely gotten racial more than political. It's gotten racial because of the judge's actions, the way that he's going after the prosecutor. This the guy that works for the state. The way that he's going after the prosecutor, it just was crazy to me. And if they don't convict this young man, it's gonna be hell to pay. And I hate to say it, George Floyd was like a catalyst, but this will be the straw that breaks the camel back, because this is going to show if America's justice is for real and if it's true. If testimonies from individuals there cannot convict this young man, the justice system is just full of crap. And that's just my opinion.
Yeah.
Thank you. I can't hear y'all, so I'm gonna have to go and look on.
Okay.
But I love you, Sharrell. You look beautiful tonight.
All right, take care.
All you guys. I hope all you guys will be blessed, and we really need to pray for our country and
yes, Regina.
Just pray for everybody. Just pray for everybody, Nina. Because it is an anxious feeling being Black. I'm proud to be Black every single day, but it is a very anxious feeling in this time. I remember talking to my grandmother and telling her, like, Grandma, why didn't y'all ever like fight back or, you know, cuss them out? And now we're in that position to where it's like, wow, do I really want to go there and put myself or my kids in jeopardy? Do I want to put myself or my son in jeopardy, like the young man from Louisiana who they hung in the backyard of his mother's house and they laughed at her while he was hanging in the tree? So it's just like, it's a lot of stuff that this country needs to work on, and criminal justice reform is definitely one. And like Ms. Diva said, he needed to be removed. I love y'all. Bye, Sharrell.
Bye-bye. Take care.
Bye. Thank you.
But Sharrell, I'll say this too, like the whole thing is this. Now, everybody in the chat gonna have different opinions and stuff, but I think that most of our opinions come from either a political bias, religion, or color. Just take color, political stance, all this out the window. Do anybody think Kyle left home to go to protect the car lot and clean up with no broom? No broom, no dustpan, no paint remover.
He illegally obtained bullets. That's against the law. You're already breaking the law out the gate, Perry. And then you take pictures with Proud Boys. You're being biased. You know what I'm saying?
That's my point. That's my point. That's my point. I'm saying people will say the reason why he left. He went there with no dust mop on the broom. He went there with no paint remover. He's going to clean up something, but he went there with a weapon. He went there to fulfill a fantasy, in my opinion. Like, instead of playing Modern Warfare on PS5, he wanted to be a part of this fight. Wow. The protest had nothing to do with him. Had nothing to do with him. He showed up. I'm not saying the other people who pointed weapons wasn't wrong neither. I think anybody there with weapons was wrong.
Right.
But so it's not that debate, but I'm telling you, if you take them other things out, there's no way you can say this guy didn't do anything wrong, in my opinion. Unless you're going to hang on to a political view or something like that.
Let me take care of this business really quick. Happy Jay, can I see your face before I bring you up? Okay, got it. Oh, so cute. Okay. And let me read this really quickly. My husband is from Australia. The problem we have here in the USA with guns is out of control, must be addressed. This kid murdered in cold blood. Wow. Happy Jay. Oh, Corey, I'm sorry. Hold on, Happy Jay. Corey, what do you have to add to this?
There's so much. There's so much.
I got a lot to say. But
I am, like I said before, I've been through a lot of things. I've been in active shooter situations. My son has permanent PTSD from Freddie Gray because his school was right around the corner from the funeral and where the riot started. This is so fresh in my mind because as people of color, we are afraid to leave our homes every day. I'm afraid to let Brendan go for his walks by himself. I'm afraid every time there's a cop that pulls me over for just a tail light. I'm nervous every time I leave the house that am I going to come back alive or in a pine box? Because it doesn't matter. Women and men, it doesn't matter. If you're brown or black, you're gone.
Let me ask you this question that people are asking in the chat that might not feel comfortable asking in person. Why are black people have a tendency to make this a black thing?
It's not just black people. I'm Latin, and it's about race. Okay, like they're shooting down black people. Like I don't have to be black to feel their pain. I don't have to be black to look at George Floyd and feel pain. I don't have to be. They have kids in cages, in goddamn cages. Like that's disgusting to me. Do you understand? It is a race issue.
It is.
When you see white kids in cages, then talk to me about it. That's how I feel. For the person,
I got you, Lola. Let Corey answer.
It's a thing of color. Because this was a protest about an innocent young man who was gunned down for no apparent reason.
Mm-hmm.
And I heard someone in the chat say that Kyle Rittenhouse is Hispanic. He's a white presenting Hispanic. So what? So what? The head of the Proud Boys is a dark-skinned Afro-Latino Cuban who thinks he's white.
Mm-hmm.
There are some
tell it
Afro-Latinos all up and through the Proud Boys. They seem to think that they're not Afro-Latino and that the same thing won't happen to them. There were black people at January 6th.
Mm-hmm. There are
misguided black people.
There are people in the audience
on TV.
There are people in the audience that feel uneasy about this because it turned into a racial thing. What about the white people that say white people were protesting too? It was white lives taken, so it's not a race thing. What do you say to that?
It is because they were allies. They were our allies. Exactly. They were protesting for injustice. They were there. They were there in support of us, and then they lost their lives like they would shoot one of us. Mm-hmm. It's, oh, please, cat lover. You're afraid to be white? Really? That's the most privileged thing I have ever heard in my entire life. This is very hard. This is hard when you and Perry know it, having boys, you know. It's hard for me because at the age of 7, I was called the N-word because I wanted to get in Sidwell Friends. This is hard for me. And as a person who is indigenous, who is black, who has a little bit of white in her, it's hard. It's really hard. This is not just a white issue because white people were murdered. This has everything to do with color because our systems are riddled with nothing but oppression, systemic racism. The problem is it's getting less of them.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Hi.
Okay.
You can't hear me?
I can hear you.
I'm sorry. Okay. Happy Jay, are you okay?
Happy Jay, you're on mute.
Okay.
Can you hear us, Happy Jay?
Well,
Okay.
I don't know what's going on with her.
I just heard a voice. Hello. I'm sorry. Yeah. Can you hear Happy? I'm sorry. You can't hear me?
I can barely hear you, but can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. Hey, everybody. How are you guys?
Hi. Because you're having problems, I see you keep losing connection. Just go ahead. Hold on, Corey, for a second, because she's having
go ahead,
problems.
Happy.
Can you speak?
Welcome.
Add to your comments to the conversation?
I just wanted to know if you guys realize that they dropped the most obvious charge today. They dropped the gun charge. And I was wondering, why would they drop that? He is 17 years old and he was carrying an AR-15 rifle. No 17-year-old can possess that. And I don't understand, how is it that he could have owned one?
It was a legal technicality.
But I mean, he did not go out to hunt. Unless he was hunting people, he was not out there to hunt.
It had something to do with a 1990s gang law or something. I heard on The View this morning.
Wow.
It was a technicality. So,
but that technicality is the whole case.
Exactly.
That technicality is the reason why we having this trial. So how can you drop the main part of the trial to bring it down to what?
Exactly, because I feel he's going to get off. I feel that they're going to make an excuse to get him off on this case, and that's not a good thing. It really isn't.
Hold on one second. For Dan, can you show me your face really quick?
I want to say something.
Okay. Go ahead, Corey, really quickly.
Oh, okay, Brendan, I want to concede the floor to Brendan. He wants to say something.
Okay, go ahead.
All right, here, Barbara.
Every day when I walk out this house, I'm afraid that I'm not gonna be able to come back. Every time I fear looking at I fear looking at cops directly in the eye. They'll think I'm walking while black, or just arrest me on sight for no apparent reason. I can't. I got permanent PTSD because some cop. I can't bring out the words. I'm sorry.
It's okay, baby.
I understand your sentiment.
It's not fair.
It's gonna be fair. It has been fair ever since I was a little girl.
I've never.
It's gonna stay like this unless somebody can make a change.
But there's no. But I don't even have the strength to fight anymore.
Better have the courage.
Let me ask Red Phoenix. Red Phoenix, what happens if the verdict is negative and everyone starts rioting again?
Well, in my opinion,
yes,
it's going to be smoke in the city. It's just that simple.
So you think it's just coming? Just prepare, it's coming.
I didn't know a lot about this case because I try not to listen to the news anymore because of everything that's going on in the news. So today we just happened to have a lunch break and people were talking about it. So everyone was filling me in. I didn't know all this was happening. I can honestly say, like, I'm pro-black. Like I'm power to the people. Like my mama, she raised me well. This is, and I want to say to all the people in the chat who want to say it's a race thing, it's a white black versus black white. I feel bad for the boy because I honestly believe his parents did him an injustice. And
you feel bad for Kyle?
I feel bad. I do. And I'm a whole black. If you don't know me, I'm a whole hard Black woman.
Sorry to interrupt, but I don't know if you guys can hear
I
me.
feel very bad for that boy. His parents, who drove him with the gun to go to a different neighborhood to kill. To kill. Let's just call a spade a spade. They didn't serve their child. And let's not forget, this is a kid. And people say once you're 18, you're an adult. I don't believe that. My child will be 16 soon. And my child's still a child. Once you turn 18, you can vote, you can drink, you can smoke.
Red Phoenix, are you saying that the parents should be held accountable in some kind of way since he was a minor?
You got darn right. Yes. If you drove that boy to a whole different neighborhood, first of all, I believe in protecting your home. Like, if the riots were in his home and in his neighborhood and he shot whoever he shot, Black, white, Jewish, Jamaican, whatever, okay, that's your right. But he drove.
Yeah.
He drove there, and he didn't drive himself. His mama. His mama drove him with a shotgun. And did you know a sawed-off shotgun is like a federal crime, even if you don't shoot it? If you get caught with it, it's a federal crime. So the parents did this boy wrong. So no matter what happens to this boy, first, I feel maybe because I work with kids now. I used to work with geriatrics, now I work with kids. But it's do your kids. If you want to have some wrong lifestyles and you want to do whatever you want to do with your life, that's on you. Okay, you live your life, die by your life. Do your kids right. They drove that boy 20 or 30 miles away with a shotgun to somewhere different to kill. You're not driving him with a gun to stand there and look at the Statue of Liberty. You're not doing that. And the parents should be held responsible. And then I was hearing at work today, even if he gets off, people are going to not be very nice to him. I'm not going to say it on your channel.
Oh, wow.
But you get. So this boy living on borrowed time. So they sent this boy to his grave.
But can I say this? George Floyd is still around. I mean, not George Floyd, Zimmerman, the guy Zimmerman.
George
That's
Zimmerman.
our fault. And that's our fault. And I'll say that.
Yeah.
What did you say?
And I say that's our fault.
Trump did.
Yeah.
It's all come from Trump.
Oh, no.
He did
I ain't gonna do Zimmerman on Sharrell's channel.
It all starts from Trump. And he's still trying to holler there was a lie about the election. He gonna build more than that.
That's Big Mama in the background, y'all.
Okay.
He's gonna build more than that. Trump is behind a lot of that.
Yeah, he did ask for them to come to Kenosha and protect things.
And they still coming.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Help their son.
Yeah.
Because
This was before. I think it was before. I'm not sure if Biden had taken his oath yet. But when he asked, them to come and protect, I'm not sure if he had taken office yet. Biden.
All right, listen, guys. We got a long
he
line.
summon
So
somebody
people are
to
asking,
go?
begging to get in. So let me cut it short. I thank
Yeah.
you guys for commenting. I appreciate it. This is crazy. I agree with Red Phoenix. This is about to be a riot. It's going to get crazy.
Yes.
So
Well,
you
I
guys,
think
It's going to be a whole lot of everything sooner or later.
Yeah.
Sooner or later, this is just a kindling to everything. They're going to have another coup again, I believe. It's just, something is in the air, and I don't like it. And I thank you for your bravery, for putting forth these substantive chats. These are talks that we need to have, and I just wish some people in the chat would who are no, stop, Mom. Who are I know I gotta say what I gotta say real quick.
I gotta go.
So,
Come on, Corey. Let's wrap this up.
Open your eyes.
Who are open to other talks on other subjects, but are closed-minded on this subject. I just like to thank the ones who stay with us and stay open-minded through every topic you have. Thank you so much. I love everybody in the chat.
All right. Goodbye, guys. Thank you so much. Let me bring the Thank you, guys. All right. We got a long line. I can't believe so many people want to talk. Hold on one second.
Let me say this while you're pulling up people. This is a big picture and a small picture. The big picture is this could potentially lead to a lot of racism and a lot of politics. But I think we were trying to stick to the subject of the actual case. And I think we're getting on far away from that.
Right.
Hi, Dan. How are you?
I'm good. Can you hear me?
Yeah, you've been trying to get in. Go ahead, speak your piece.
So how about, sorry, the way I feel about it is really like this. Like, we've seen this play out before. I'm tired of like the same excuses. It's either, oh, he was young, or he made a mistake. Taking someone's life is not a mistake. That's the action that you willingly take. Like,
right.
I'm not out here going to fucking protesters with a fucking Tech 9 ready to shoot niggas. Like, that's not how we work.
You can't say the N-word, bro.
Can you
sorry.
watch your language?
Yeah, no, but like, I apologize, but that is really the case. You don't bring guns to a protest unless you intend to incite violence. That's a clear thing that he did. It wasn't like he walked over there, he had his license to carry, and he was in danger. No, you willingly put yourself in danger. So people are in the argument saying, in the group chat, we're saying, okay, well, he was just protecting himself, defending himself. If you want to pretend to be a child right now, then be a child and stay in a child's place. What business did you have out there? You don't even live there. Your father may live, but you had no business being out there in that location. You didn't come to clean. You didn't come to fix anything. So why is it now like, oh, you want to sit there and cry fake tears? Like, I've seen crocodile tears before. Like, that's not what is given. You're not a good actor. I'm sorry.
All right. Thank you so much, Dan, for calling in. And you tried. You kept getting a bad connection. Thank you so much for calling in. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Take care. All right. V, did you want to say anything? Because I still have another video to do.
Okay. Well, we can just wrap it up. But I was saying that it just irritates me to no end that this 17-year-old had that kind of gun, got out of his mother's car with that kind of gun, got on stage, started crying and wanted to play a child, but all his intentions were adult. And now he wants to be tried as a child. I don't like that.
Right.
Diva, final words?
I agree with B and everybody. Like, you did the crime, now you got to do the time. It's like, okay, we understand you was a kid, but you was a kid when you decided to go there. You was a kid when you decided to pick up this gun and get out the car and do whatever it is that you did. If you do not want to hurt anybody, you don't bring any weapons to the situation. You come empty-handed. And if you're just going to talk and you're going to do whatever, you come empty-handed. I do not like guns. I do not like the fact that the average person can even carry a gun. I think it should stay with the authorities, but that's just my opinion. And I think when you loosely have people that you don't even know their mindset and they have a weapon like that, nothing good is going to come out of it. What 17-year-old needs to go to a situation like that? None.
Exactly.
But there was something going on in the household that your parent would even bring you to a situation like that. That's their mindset also. Because I know I never would.
Perry?
Right.
Oh, no, I agree with that, though. And I'll say this. I mean, a person saying I'm bringing this weapon because I need protection. If you was in fear, the safest spot would have been stay at home.
Yep.
Now I agree with Diva saying. I think it's how you bring your child up. And if he's sitting there watching, I'm just going to speculate and say his mother with these beliefs and all this, he could feel like it's the right thing to do. And with everybody in the chat going back with everything, politics have things to do with it. But at the end of the day, him going there with that weapon and coming across the people he was there, I'm not picking any side on who was right or wrong at the protest. But it was outside of political stuff at that point. It was about him making choices. And when you made a choice to shoot somebody, that's
your choice.
Yeah, exactly.
And also, too, hold on, Lola. I just wanted to say we send out our condolences for the victims. 2 people lost their lives, and we cannot forget that. Joseph Rosenbaum and Anthony Huber. Lola, what are your final words?
My final words are: I agree that if you're going to make, listen, I understand that maybe his parents molded his mind a certain way, but we all have that one family member who says ignorant, racist, uneducated things. And we know better at 17. You're almost 18. You should know better by then. 1 and 2, just sticking to the facts. He illegally obtained bullets. He left his home and carried an AR-15 around at the age of 17. He had no business being there with a gun. And the way he was holding it too, it just seemed antagonizing to me. And then taking pictures with the Proud Boys, going to a Proud Boys bar. You're 17. You're not supposed to be at a bar, first of all.
Right.
And then you're throwing signs up. It's like, come on. It's like he's broken multiple laws. Like, let's be honest.
Yeah.
Sticking just to that.
Unfortunately, I feel that a riot is coming either way. That this is putting another stain on our history. But I don't want anybody in this chat to forget that people lost their lives.
Amen.
For me, that's the biggest tragedy of it all. You don't get a do-over. I don't know what would have happened to me if I lost my life at 23. It's so much life I would have missed out on. So it's a tragedy all the way around, including the upcoming riot. It's going to be a riot, but at least we spoke our piece in a civil manner and tried to understand each other. There's nothing wrong with protesting peacefully, but when it turns violent, it's just dangerous. At that point, for me, that's what I have to say. All right, guys, this was a tough one. We had to do what we had to do, and it's not over. I'll be back with the verdict. Hopefully there's no more tragedy.
You know what, Sharrell, I want to say this real quick, and I know he's not on trial, but if they can say that Travis Scott, just for being on stage, can be responsible because people got stomped out and, lost their life. So now you could say this kid directly had a gun and was the one that pulled the trigger, and he should serve no time.
Right,
It doesn't make sense.
You got it, Chancellor.
Let's all pray for peace.
Yes.
Next week or a couple of days. We don't know when this verdict is coming in. I just don't want any more lives taken.
Me either.
Right. No, I agree.
I just don't. It's horrible. Right. And that's why I do videos like this. We got to speak our piece peacefully.
Yes.
Because it's just a shame, a crying shame if anyone else.
Things can only change if we talk about it and we come to some understandings, and maybe somebody will know, do not bring your child to a situation like this because something bad can happen.
And I think they suspect something's bad's going to happen. 5,000 National Guard. Oh God, this is going to be bad, guys. It's going to be bad. Let's all pray for peace. All right, on 3, guys, let's say bye. 1, 2, 3. Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.